Here we have a plaster medallion that came from the first floor drawing room in the McLellan House. And these were small decorative details that were first carved in a block of wood, and then that block of wood was pressed to make a negative mold. It was pressed into a molding clay to make a negative mold. And then from that, many of them could be reproduced by simply pouring plaster into that negative mold. This is what it looks like before the paint has been removed. And then after about 4 hours of work, you end up with the real detail that was underneath all of that paint. So after we get it to this stage, we press this into a material that is actually used in modern day for dental molding. And it's a very good, flexible mold-making material, and it's used a lot in preservation. And within a few minutes, this will set up, and we can extricate the original piece from it and start casting the reproductions. This is the part of it that's a little bit tricky. You want to get it right into those corners so that you don't get too many air bubbles in there. Now that will take about 5 minutes or so before it really sets up well.
By gently flexing the mold, you release the cast from it. Oh, there it is.
Back at the McLellan House now, after we have reproduced these medallions in the shop, this is an original one, and this is one of the ones that we reproduced. In addition to making all of those that were missing, we also had to remove all of the rest of them and glue them back on, because originally they were glued with just regular hide glue, which was just rendered from animal byproducts. So by the time we got to doing this, there were dozens of these already missing, and many hundreds of them just on the verge of falling right off. So the first thing we did on site here was we went around and took all of them off, cleaned the backs of them, and simply glued them back on. Some were missing just parts of the flower, little tiny pieces like this. And if you look around, almost every one of them needed some part replaced. In this room alone, there were 3 different types of medallions. These underneath the chair rail, and then above the doors there are larger ones, and then around the frieze at the top of the building there are still larger ones. We had to make negative molds and then cast new medallions for each or part of those that were missing. It is important to try to put all of those pieces back to restore the really intricate and elegant detail everywhere. If there's too much of it missing, it begins to look sloppy. You start losing that kind of formality of all this architectural detail when there's pieces missing everywhere.